Hey guys, podcast time.
Happy Monday.
Woo!
What a relief that the weekend is over.
I know. Finally back at it.
I hate having those days without the show, you know?
Well, I just don't like having days where I don't have to work.
It's a shame that we have that anyways.
I need that structure.
Thanks to work laws, we can't come in, but now we're back for another week.
Fantastic. And the good news is this podcast contains no mention of the Avengers, except that one.
Otherwise, we cut it out.
You guys know I'm lying. Of course, we do talk about the Avengers. I did go see it. And of course, there was drama about, I just wanted to sit down. Can't do that.
Can't just have
Can't just go have a seat.
movie experience without having something come up.
We also talk the WWE.
I'm not talking about it.
Oh, you do?
No, I mean, you'll find out why.
You'll see. Also, I had a Broadway play this weekend, Sumo Wrestling, which was not the play. Kate Benslet, McDonald's HQ, Toxic Caterpillars, and Nikki and I find a story that we're really not sure is real. Even though every media outlet on earth is reporting it, I just don't feel like it's real.
Until you get to the last point, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I feel like I've been a part of a joke.
Yep.
And you're just getting in on it.
But you guys take a listen and see. And I'm telling you, this time tomorrow, I feel like we're going to be coming with a rebuttal. Like, see?
Oh, to find out if it was real or not?
I feel like somebody somewhere is finally going to be like, it's a hoax. But please come to our doctor's office. We're the best.
We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a great whatever day this is for you.
Please make sure to join us, RadioU Riot. That is our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And also make sure if you don't follow us on RadioU Official on Instagram, you can always message us there and check out the studio when we do Instagram Live.
All right.
Yes, you're right.
I can't talk.
You are right.
What Nikki said.
Bye.
Baby's crying. Nails on a chalkboard. Your girlfriend saying, we need to talk. The worst of the riot. Yep, it really is that bad on Radio U.
Look, I know that everybody was having a good old time hanging out at the movie theater this weekend watching the Avengers, but there was something else that was happening this weekend. I don't know if you were paying attention, but the WWE's Royal Rumble was in Jeddah.
Now, okay.
Saudi Arabia.
I feel like there's a WWE thing all the time.
I get that.
So is it is it every Sunday? Is it every weekend?
No, it's not. They have a monthly pay-per-view, which is like a big weekend thing. And then they have a Monday thing. They have other things that go on, but their big thing is that. Well, this was this month's big pay-per-view, and it was in Saudi Arabia. And my first thought was
how they do that?
Well, can women even go to that? And are the women allowed to wrestle? And this just goes to show you that when money talks, the
Suddenly
WWE walks.
Yeah.
There were no female wrestlers at this event. And this is where things get scandalous. They've got the big intro whatevers, but then they've also got videos and different things that play. Well, a female wrestler video accidentally played.
Oh, it was an intro?
Mm-hmm. And they've got some real specific guidelines about how women are allowed to dress in Saudi Arabia. And I'll just tell you, WWE's over here. Saudi Arabia is way
over there. Way
so
over there.
on the other side. Not even really in the same building. Way on the other side. And so they had to apologize profusely. But I'll have to say, as a female wrestler, I'd just be like, okay, it's cool. We'll just stay home, I guess.
Take the day off.
Yeah, everybody
yeah,
else.
But you know how it is. I'd be fine if I chose to take the day off.
Well,
but if someone's telling me to take the day off because of that, I'd be really annoyed.
Yeah. I called it Royal Rumble. I apologize. It was greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh, I can see how you'd make the difference. I mean, it's an easy mistake.
Well, it was a capital G, so
Sure.
that means it's part of the title. I thought it was just something that you say.
I don't know. Some people, you could look at it going, well, that's a step at least in some direction. But as the women were not allowed to do anything, I don't know if that was a big enough step.
So this was the first televised wrestling event in Saudi Arabia where children and women were allowed to attend ringside, but they had to be accompanied by a man.
See, I hate that stuff. I hate that stuff so much. I hate that. It drives me crazy. I guess I don't understand, like, is wrestling popular there, or would they know what's even going on, or is it just to say, oh, we were in Saudi Arabia?
I think that...
Gosh, I'd have to bring someone with me. That makes me so mad.
The Saudi government has signed a 10-year deal with the WWE to produce events in the kingdom.
Gotcha.
So, like... we got
someone there's a fan, and they're making it happen.
That's exactly right.
That's what's going on.
Somebody is like, So one of the Saudi princes came to the United States.
That's what it is.
And you know what happened? He was like, I must bring this to my people. Of all the richness in American culture that is available to you, the thing that stuck out to him is like, this is the thing I have to get in.
You're taking over, yep.
It was the WWE. Man, they're breaking down barriers. They're like Dennis Rodman.
You've got to hand it to Obadiah and Nikki. Anyone can eat junk food all day.
Where's my food?
But they've figured out a way to get paid for it. The Riot on RadioU.
Okay. I did go see Infinity War this weekend. My original Friday showing, it didn't work out.
It was postponed till yesterday.
I ended up going on Sunday, and I was, packed houses, right? I pull up the app, and I'm looking for seating at these movies. Starting at 8 a.m., showings, it's like they weren't sold out, but it was, if you want to go, you're sitting on the floor all the way in front of the screen.
Sure.
And I'm like, ugh.
And I mean, it was back-to-back showings. Like, they had them stacked.
Well, think about it. They're starting at 8 a.m.
Going till like 4 a.m.
Like, just... And I mean, they had shows, it was like some kind of a bus schedule. Every half hour, the train for Avengers Infinity War is leaving. And so I finally found a showing that worked, and I found a seat that worked. And I, of course, with reserved seating, I'm not in there early. Like, I'm pretty much right up to the minute going in, get my seat. And I did that. I go in, assigned seating. I'm in F11.
Yeah.
That's my seat number. And so no. It was G11. That's right. Well, it's important to the story. So I'm in G11, and I'm like following this other guy up. And this is an important detail. But this guy in front of me, he's like, a couple steps in front of me or whatever. He gets up, and there are people in the seats where he's supposed to be sitting.
Oh, it's going to be a problem then.
He is a man of smaller stature.
Sure.
And he has a nerdy air about him. He does not have a very assertive
personality.
You could see all of this just by glancing at him. So he has to tell these people that they're in his seats. The man that he has to tell this to is the exact opposite of him.
Really?
He is a hulking big man with a very deep voice. And so he's like, hey, I just think you're in my seats. And the guy's like, get out of my face.
Did he really say that to him?
These are our seats. It's F11 through 14.
Oh, my gosh.
And I literally just thought, oh, good, I'm in those seats, too. That's great. And the thing that kills me is, and of course, this guy's just like, okay.
Yeah, he backs off.
And he just backs off and starts walking down the stairs. And I just thought.
Now it's your turn.
Well, and I thought to myself, I was like, all right. This is the moment of truth. Am I going to talk to this man who hilariously is sitting next to a large lighted G? Like, there is a big a big G right next to the guy that's talking. And I'm just like, man, you're saying that you're an F, you're not. Am I just going to let it go or what? And I thought,
because then you could reverse it and sit in his seat for wherever he was supposed to.
Is it worth it? Well, and here's where it begins, because then I look, there are people in his seats.
What is everybody doing?
He's in my seat. And I'm like, oh, well.
We're going to start the whole thing.
And I literally thought, I was like, I have to sit somewhere. And so that's my seat. I got to say something. And I just walked up and I said, excuse me, sir, are you sure you're in row F? And he gives me this look.
Yeah.
And then he looks down at the lighted G on the floor, and he was like, Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That kind of deflates him.
Yeah, he was like, it was fine, but it was just one of those things where it was like,
poor guy before you, though.
I know. And then he, of course, gets up and barks at the guy who's in his seats.
Yeah.
I don't know where that guy was going or what he did afterwards.
How do you mess up the pre-selected seat system? It's very hard to.
I mean, I get it. Maybe it's dark and the big lit G on the floor was...
The fact that he was wrong and then the ones in his seat were also wrong, it just seems like no one's picking their actual seat they're supposed to be in.
I don't know. I think the guy that came in, I think he just looked for... I think he had a crappy seat.
Yeah.
He found some open seats and just went for
there.
it. I've seen that before. But, man, it was a moment. And I just thought... that funny thing of like, are you going to confront the big man about his seat since he's already been confronted once?
Sure.
And I literally was like, do I want to do this? And I thought, man, you know what, Nikki, sometimes you got to stand up to Thanos.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
At least you were the second person to bring it up. Your confirmation.
So, like, I was Spider-Man and the other guy was like Iron Man, and we were teamed up.
Sometimes a bad example is the best example. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So the Avengers over the weekend, it was the thing that everyone was doing. As I mentioned, I was like, well, I couldn't. I was supposed to go Friday, and there was a conspiracy that prevented that from happening. But
you still made it in?
I still made it yesterday, and it was just insane how every single person that I knew, it was the only thing they cared or talked about all
for the whole weekend.
Yeah, it was just, that was
I
it.
saw a lot of people who saw like Thursday night, Friday, and then who went back again yesterday.
Yes.
Because they wanted to be able to process it a little bit more.
I share that.
You're just giving a lot of money.
I share that feeling. It was so enormous, and there was so much going on that you just felt like, I don't even know if I got all that the first time around. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah.
And it was, I've been reading Marvel Comics for a long time, and they always have those big crossover events. And if you ever read them, there are, like, you'll literally have, like, 40, 50 superheroes in an issue or in a whatever. And that's the way this movie played out. And it was really interesting. It really felt like 3 movies that they edit together into one kind of whole movie. But it was impressive how they were able to nail the feel and kind of character of each one. Everybody got a moment, at least a moment.
So was
if
it
not
too
several
overwhelming
moments.
with too many people?
It wasn't. That's what I think is the most impressive thing about it, is that the script managed to be balanced. No one was really the star. Mm-hmm. It was just that everybody kind of got their moment and part. And there were a couple of people that were surprises that kind of show up, and there were things they did where I was like, oh yeah. It was good. I really genuinely enjoyed it. I would like to see it again, though the only thing I'll say, and don't hate me for this, I don't think it just feels like one more of those kinds of movies.
Sure.
Which it doesn't take away from its achievement, but people are like, this is the best movie ever. And I'm like, I don't know. Is it better than the first Avengers? Like, was it better than whatever? It's like, it's just built on all these other things. So I don't know that it's necessarily any better. It's just very good.
Sure, and it's also probably just feels bigger.
Yes. To me, it just felt like in line with so many of the other kind of Marvel things that you've gone and seen, which it's not an insult. It's just that I am a little surprised. I shouldn't be. It's all the hype machine, but like I wasn't as caught up in it. I felt like maybe as some other people were, but I really liked it.
But you like to go see it.
Oh, yeah, and I want to see it again. And so did you guys. $250 million, the largest opening weekend in box office history.
On Thursday night, when it had, those few hours, it made more money than most would ever dream of making, like on a whole weekend.
Man.
There's a lot of money, and then it's not even out in China yet, so that would bring it even more money.
Yeah, so it hasn't opened in China, but it also has a new global record, $630 million this weekend.
Imagine that much money. That much money. I mean, it probably took a lot of money to not only just make it, but worldwide to do its promotion for it. But that's a huge amount.
The thing that I thought of coming out of it yesterday is, remember we read that article last week from James Cameron, and he's like, well, when are people going to get Avengers fatigue? I mean, let's make a different movie. And I walked out of that like, man, I don't have Avengers fatigue. I I'm ready for the next one. Like, show me more.
There is no problem with that one.
And that's what I thought. It's just like, man, I'm not tired of these movies yet. Like, I keep making them. Like, I'll keep coming to see them. You guys keep making them this good. And so, Avengers fatigue? No. That's just when you went too late and you have Avengers fatigue because you're tired the next day.
Worst of the Riot, not enough? Not enough. Check the blog and all things Riot at riot.radiou.com.
Let's talk about you and your karate skills. They're impressive. A lot of people have been talking about you. And Nikki
you didn't even know that you took karate?
Nikki and I are really excited to see you get your yellow belt. It's going to be
the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes when you don't get a yellow belt, you get a double yellow tip.
Why? Just like you're not ready yet for the full belt?
Yep, it happens. They're just like, you know what? Like, you're obviously better than this plain old clear belt.
But you're not yet ready for the full yellow.
Quite there for the yellow belt. So we're all real impressed. Just like we're impressed with Rocco Mantella. He's a resident of Orlando, Florida. No, excuse me, Jacksonville. He lives on Jacksonville Beach. And he was out on the beach practicing his karate kicks, like you do, on the beach.
That's where you train.
Did
he fight somebody? Did he fight a shark?
You know what? He wasn't fighting a shark, but he was at Lake Eola State Park, and he was kicking the animals.
Oh, well, now that is not how you use your power for good.
He was practicing his karate.
Who was he kicking? Or what was he kicking?
They said on various animals around
the park?
Oh, my gosh. He kicked a duck.
Oh, come on. You can't karate kick a duck.
I really want to be there.
You would have loved to have seen that, right?
Well, there's a guy at a park where I go running. He's always doing this kata, like out in front of the entrance to the running path. And it's one of those things where you're like, all right, cool. It's a big open space. Do your thing. But like the idea of him all of a sudden just running over and beginning to beat on a duck, I want to be there for that.
Would you stop it? Or after you laugh for a second, would you be like, hey, we shouldn't actually do that?
I'll tell you what I'd do. You know what I'd do.
You'd start
Same
laughing?
Same thing you'd do.
Oh, film it?
You'd immediately get your phone out and start filming it.
Well, I'd still be yelling at him while it was going on.
Well, I mean, after I got some footage.
You can't go to the park. Now, maybe it is one of those cases where you ask for an apology, then forgive. You have to ask for forgiveness afterwards. He didn't know. So now going forward, the statement has been made. If you're at a park or anywhere, you can't karate kick an animal.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that he ended up doing was he kicked 2 swans in the head.
That's a bird problem then.
And then he kicked another one in, and I quote, the back end.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Well, line them up then. They get to kick back.
Yeah. So apparently, I didn't look at this closely enough. Lake Eola Park is actually in Orlando. This guy was visiting from Jacksonville Beach.
Nice.
And he was granted $1,000 bond, but he's going to have to come back because they're charging him with animal cruelty. I don't know about cruelty.
You're not allowed to kick an animal.
Well, I know, but
that is cruel. We don't kick each other, and we don't kick animals.
I don't know. Do they have animal not nicety? Like, cruel to me is just like, I'm gonna pull your feathers out one at a time. I'm gonna make it hurt.
Well,
that's cruel. Like, kicking them is like, what are you doing? Like, we don't kick. I'm sorry, we don't have a sign. Don't kick the swans. We do now. We have to have a sign now. If this guy was really
into karate, he gets his belt taken away.
This guy is not into real karate. Come on.
Not even the dipped ones. He doesn't even get a white belt. You're even losing that. You get an off-white belt. You're back.
Yeah, I fight with animals. Crane technique.
Imagine a world where the Riot never talks and it's glorious RadioU music for hours on end. Now, imagine the opposite of that. You're already there. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
MoviePass. Boy, I love how for many of you, I've become synonymous with MoviePass.
You're like a spokesman, but you're not. He's just one of the guys you might actually know who has one.
You guys can't fathom how many people hit me up on Facebook and Twitter this weekend about the MoviePass news. So the news was, and I still haven't seen where it's like 100% firm or whatever, but like they are saying that right now, if you sign up for MoviePass for $10 a month, you now only get 4 movies a month.
But I thought that was with you if you did a deal that they have with another company, but it's not like MoviePass.
No, it is. It
is
like,
now?
yeah, if you would go to their website and sign up for MoviePass,
You get basically 1 movie a week.
you get a movie a week, which...
I mean, you get a movie a day.
Yes, I can get a movie a day, except that's the other piece of news. Let's say I decided I wanted to go see Avengers Infinity War today and use my MoviePass. What does that say?
It says oh my God. That is so shady.
I'm showing Nikki the app on my phone.
You've already seen the movie, so you can't go again?
No, you can't.
Oh, bye-bye MoviePass. That's so bad.
They will only let you see a movie one time.
Oh, that's a new development.
It is a new development.
There's only so many movies a month that you can see. Like, you couldn't even get to 30.
They know that.
Wow, that is shady.
But keep in mind, they are actively trying to keep you subscribed, but to reduce their outlay because they're hemorrhaging money. So they're trying to figure out a way
how to cut back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While still keeping you on.
Right.
Oh,
but
come on.
But you know what the thing is for me is that I will tell you that I know people are groaning, and rightfully so if they had a certain expectation. But for me personally, my end game with MoviePass is to see a movie a week, and I've only seen one movie more than once using MoviePass.
Yeah, but you're not even at the summer season. What if you'd have more chances then? And
my thing is
taken away from you.
But like with the summer season, again, for me, I probably will not see a movie more than once. Now, Avengers Infinity War would have been the exception.
Sure.
Like, I would have gone and seen that more than once.
Will they lift that after a few weeks?
Well, the other thing is they've changed the terms of service. So what they've said is that not every movie is like that. So, for example,
the important ones.
Yeah, basically, the only movies they're doing that to are the ones that you'd want to see more than once.
See what they're doing with that.
But like, for example...
that art house movie, independent film, they're like, no, actually, you can go see that one as many times as you want. We insist.
That Halle Berry, Daniel Craig movie that came out this weekend that nobody's ever heard of.
Please go see it.
Like, yeah, you can as many times as you want. No problem.
That doesn't count towards your 4 a month thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still technically have an unlimited...
Sure. That'll go, though, eventually.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, you know what we should see is I used it to see Ready Player One. What if I tried to see it? Nope. You've already seen this movie. Boy. They're out on that. What about Pacific Rim? You've already seen this movie.
It's not what you signed up for. I hate when companies change like that.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you.
That's not what they were about. So.
Well, and it just goes to show you that anytime a company wants to, they can alter the terms of service. That's in the terms of service.
That is it. Well, MoviePass gets a frowny face.
Yeah, it's still, I know people are mad about it. It's still not enough for me to back out on it because, okay, I figured they're going to fold at some point in the next year. My end game with it is I was really hoping I could get through the summer movie season using my MoviePass. And if that means that I can only use it
once a week,
I can still technically use it every day. I'm starting to run out of movies, but like...
they just want to know how desperate will you be to go see all the other ones.
Well, you know what? At $2.50 a movie, it's still a pretty good deal, even if it's not, the movie deal that you signed up for.
The movie you wanted to see.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Waking up with the Riot makes your nightmares not seem so bad. Actually, you might want to just go back to sleep. RadioU.
So I've been texting back and forth with Nick, the news guy, about, we both went to the movies this weekend. No need to talk about what we saw. But we both saw a movie in which we were, laughing. And he was telling me his theater was laughing a lot. And I was in a theater full of people that almost didn't laugh at all.
Really?
Yeah. So here's...
But I heard there were some funny lines in the movie.
What movie it is,
whatever
we don't know.
Movie it was.
Yeah. Here's the part that I don't really understand is that when I go to the movies, I have a tendency to laugh a lot. And I feel like I'm laughing at a lot of stuff that other people just aren't laughing at all.
Yeah, you're just on a different level with humor.
Well, here's what I started wondering is I have 3 possibilities. Maybe we'll find more as we unfold. One, I just laugh at everything.
Yeah.
Which is very possible. I'm just laughy, laugh. I think things are funny that nobody else does. So like
that kind of goes hand in hand with one.
What, with laughing all the time?
I think that does.
Okay. So I guess the other possibility, I guess what I'm saying is like I laugh a lot.
And you laugh at anything.
Normal people don't laugh that much. I laugh at all kinds of things. Normal people don't laugh at all kinds of things.
Appropriate and inappropriate. It's just a coping thing.
I guess. I don't know. And then also just the idea, and I don't feel like this is it. Like maybe there are jokes in the script that I'm getting that they're not getting.
I think that's probably more than you realize.
But the thing is like I'm right on the verge of having a complex about it because I'm noticing more and more I am laughing at things and other people are not laughing.
Maybe though, instead of trying to turn off the laughing, you should tone it down. Like maybe if it was not as noticeable of a laugh.
So I learned not to.
Yeah, like I sometimes laugh like a quiet laugh where I'm just like my body's I'm laughing, but I'm not really making much noise.
Turning the laugh inside.
Yes, like when you sneeze, you can either sneeze real crazy or you can kind of just shut everything down and keep it inside.
What about...
And they hear a little, but not a lot.
That's not wrong. But then, I mean, maybe I should just get comfortable with it. Where it's just like...
Is this having confidence with our body and who we are?
It's body confidence, but it's laughing confidence.
Is it
like,
laugh shaming you?
Maybe it's a thing, because I did. Like, there were multiple moments throughout the thing where I was laughing, and I mean, I'm the only person in the theater laughing.
Do you feel like maybe people are noticing you or looking at you?
Well, maybe. But my other thought was, like, maybe other people are laughing. I just couldn't hear them.
Sure.
Maybe that's
over
it.
You.
Maybe that's it.
You can't hear them laughing over your laughing.
Maybe a lot of other people are laughing, but they can't. They're not laughing very loud.
I bet that's it.
Okay, we'll take that. Because I am loud. No doubt about that.
Yes, you are.
I've had people tell me
I like the word jolly. It feels holiday-ish, doesn't it?
I've had people come up to me after a movie and they were like, hey, I knew you were in here because I recognized your laugh. And I was just like...
that's too bad.
And I just thought to it's just one of those things where you're like, okay, am I just going to embrace it? Because, like, it is what it is.
We'll tell this to anybody. Love yourself, okay? And how we are and who you are and who your laughing is.
I just, sometimes I'd like to just fit in, You
like to blend in.
Just what if
I like to vanish. I'm like, please don't notice me in the theater.
I can't. I go in there and try to blend in, and the lights are off, and I can't blend in.
They still know you're there.
I can't.
You have that personality. You're like a beacon of light.
Well,
a loud horn, a fog horn in a big water. That's what you are.
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
It's been a real weekend of firsts for women across the world. Women were allowed for the very first time to attend a WWE match in Saudi Arabia.
Not be one of the performers.
Yeah, no, they can't perform.
And you still had to have some guy take you.
Couldn't go by yourself.
But I guess baby steps.
Hey, we start somewhere.
I guess.
And there we go. So one of the things that it hasn't happened yet, but one of the things that they're kind of working up to is that allowing women to enter the sumo ring.
Oh, for sumo wrestling?
Yeah.
What would you wear?
Well, at first I was like, wait, do they mean like
wrestle?
But how about this? This is amazing. Like the sumo ring is considered to be like
sacred,
right? So, female first responders not allowed in the ring.
Gosh, it makes me so mad.
Think about straight up, no women.
So if someone was injured?
Yes.
You couldn't go in and help somebody in a sumo ring?
Mm-hmm. So how about this? Someone, an official had collapsed and was, I guess, just the ref. And first responders are called in and a female first responder entered the ring and they were like, out.
Really?
Yeah. Out. You're not allowed in here. And now the Japan Sumo Association has clarified and said, okay, if you're there to save somebody's life, we'll allow it.
Way to be nice guys. Now, there's female sumo wrestlers. I just don't know if it's in like if you go to Japan and see like a traditional setting or their sumo wrestling league. Not sure. Maybe it's just in other parts of the world.
Are you sure they have female? Yep.
I'm looking at it.
Yep, I'm looking at pictures too.
Man, I could not do
maybe they have sumo wrestlers, but maybe they're not recognized by the
Sumo wrestling
Japan
thing.
Sumo Association.
I would probably say that.
Something like that.
But this is an article talking about professional sumo wrestling is notable for its exclusion of women from competition and ceremonies. So women are not allowed to enter or touch the sumo wrestling ring. It's seen as a violation of the purity of the ring. It's fine.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Didn't want to
Nikki,
go anyways. I didn't want to go in the ring.
If you want me to be honest, if there was a word that I would use to describe you, it's unpure.
Is it?
That's the first.
Won't you even drive me to the ring? Like, can I get in if I go with a man?
Well, I mean, you can sit ringside.
I just can't.
But not in the ring.
Oh, it's fine.
Not in the ring.
You've given me a lot of articles today about a lot of things going on that I can't participate in. So could you change that up a bit? It's making me feel sad.
Hey, you know what? Let's. As I told Nikki earlier about the other wrestling. It's wrestling, men and wrestling. I, as a woman, do you want to go to the WWE? No, not. You don't want to be told you can't go, but do you want to go?
No, I don't.
Do you want to go watch sumo wrestling?
Nah.
Then we're fine.
No, but again, you can't not let me if I decided to change my mind.
So, okay, now we've got you there. If you've changed your mind and you do want to go to the sumo wrestling
What if I wanted to go in the ring for a picture?
Selfie?
Something like that. Hey, here we go. And I'm not allowed to because that's probably why I want to go in.
I was going to say right there that you guys just heard the whole reason Nikki wanted to go at all. I want a picture of me in the ring.
Yes.
So I can make some people mad.
Well, yeah, because now I want the frowny guys in the background.
I want all of them
saying,
to
get
know.
her out of there because she's a woman. And I'm messing up the purity of the sumo wrestling ring.
Yeah.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
Now, many of you no doubt think that I lack any sort of sophistication due to the fact that all I ever do is talk about the movies and the video games. But guess what? I went to the theater this weekend.
You did, not the movie theater, but you mean theater?
Theater. I went to see The King and I, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and it was fantastic.
You had a good time?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. And
did you get to pick your seat with a leather recliner at the theater? Or is it the old school seats where you're like, how short and small were these people?
Well,
back when they made that.
It's interesting that you would say that because the last time I went to this particular theater, I remembered thinking no,
I don't need any more room.
It's only 3 hours long.
It's like an airplane ride.
Maybe worse, tiniest seats imaginable. Well, these tickets, I didn't buy them. Someone gave me tickets to go, which was amazing in and of itself. And they were, Nikki, I was in the balcony.
Yeah.
But
we were both there.
Front section balcony.
Yeah.
And just beautiful seats, amazing. But here's what I realized. They have renovated.
Yeah, so the seats are bigger.
Yeah. And so I was surprisingly comfortable during it. But then I took a look back to realize that the only section that they had updated the seats in was that front section that I was in, and the old I can't breathe section
back there.
Still had the old seats.
Well, they got to realize if you want people to come to the theater, just like if you want, airlines people to want to come on your plane.
Yeah.
You got to make it a little bit more comfortable since we're used to the leather recliners when we go to the movie theater.
We're for real spoiled because even sitting there in an updated but still pretty old school seat, I was, again, pretty comfortable, way more comfortable than I had thought that I would be while I was there. But I did think several times, man, how different we are. Back in the day, people are like, let's put on really uncomfortable clothes and sit in uncomfortable seats.
For a night out at the theater.
And now I'm like, man, this was... where's the recliner? Is it this button?
Your seat back.
Is it this button that makes it go out? My feet go out?
Did you, I haven't been to theater in forever. Is there still, can you get some concessions? Can you bring it in?
You know what? That shocked me. Yes, you can bring your food into the theater. I imagined it would just be oh, no. You have to eat that out here.
I think that they've relaxed rules. You can wear jeans and stuff and flip-flops.
I went to
is there a dress code?
There is not. I went to a matinee, so I was in jeans and a flannel. No, no big deal. And the majority of the people I saw were dressed pretty comfortably. Evenings are usually a little more
fancier.
Upscale or whatever. But yeah, I hit the concessions, and boy, if you want to, you can booze it up. Like they're selling liquor at that show. I was just like, wow, I just want the M&Ms, but
Probably depends on how long the theater presentation is.
I thought about that actually. I was like, I get it. The only way you could sit in these seats is if you were so drunk you don't realize how uncomfortable you are. This makes a lot more sense.
It's like a complete circle. You know, when you get in, you just start that journey and you go sit down.
Yeah, it was a journey. But it was a lot of fun.
Good.
I liked it. I found myself wishing it was not as expensive. Like, I wish that was something I could do more often. But, it's
You need
not.
a theater pass. It's like MoviePass, but you can go to one production every week.
It's $150 a month. Which is
and
it's
once
a deal.
you've seen a play, I'm afraid you cannot go see it again, and that's it.
Can't
but
see it again.
You're at least getting out there.
Yeah, but no, it was a good time. I was impressed by the performances, and with these newer extra half inch of legroom seating, man,
Fancy.
Like the comfort level was next level. Wow.
It's the worst of the riot, because calling it the best of the riot would be a lie. Radio U.
Nikki, I need your wisdom.
Sure.
I need your years of experience parceling through media and news to see if you think this is true. Now, this story is being reported by every major news outlet that I can find.
Yeah.
So that right there usually is enough for me to be like, okay, we can talk about it. All right. There's a doctor in Georgia. Her name is Marion Patterson. She's a family practice doctor, a GP.
So, like, if you were sick, that's the one you go to, your normal doctor.
I've got a rash. I've got an infection. I'm just like the front line of the medical profession. You go in there and talk to them, and then they spin you off to a specialist.
They send you to some antibiotic thing, and then you're done.
Here, take this for a month, and if that's not better, go see somebody else. That's who she was. Apparently, she's been having some problems, and so she has been making threats against her employees. She was saying that
what age is she? 50, you said, or something?
Well, let me put it to you this way. Yeah, I don't know if I said she's been a doctor for 30 years. So you figure she's probably in her mid-50s. Okay. She's been making threats against employees, threatening to slit their throats. Now, here's another one, and this is... Nikki, this is the big one.
Sure.
And it's a little rough. So everybody just get ready.
Hold on to the wheel.
Right. And here's where it begins to break down for me. She threatened to cut off an employee's head and roll it down the hallway.
Oh, no, that's a bit much.
Wait.
Like a bowling ball?
But was going to call their kids so they could see her roll the head down the hallway.
What did that person do? It's probably nothing. What a threat.
Well, did you misfile that? Did you misfile it? Because I'm going to cut your head off, bring your family in, and watch me roll it down the hallway.
I've never heard someone say that as like a threat.
Let's see.
That's terribly bad.
Here we go. The doctor grabbed one employee, threw a catalog, a reflex hammer, and prescription bottles, along with trying to throw a large potted plant.
Now, I'm sorry. Do they say she's always been this way, or like she's just now? I'm just curious if this person was always more like they've lost it.
It seems like maybe
this is something new.
Let me tell you what the sheriff had to say. Sheriff put out a little statement here. Said, it's unfortunate. There's some factors in her life that brought about some emotional problems, I feel. I hope this is something she can put behind her because she has a lot of patience. A lot of people trust her as their doctor.
I'm not.
And it's just one of those things that I hope she can work through.
I'm not. Not if she's threatened to cut someone's head off and not fix it herself. Like, as a doctor, you're sworn to help people, and she's not.
I'm going to cut your head off and sew it back on
in front of your family,
so everyone can see what a good doctor I am.
I didn't hear that. I just heard threats only.
Well, maybe that's the part we didn't hear. She's like, I'm going to roll it down the hallway, and then I'm going to reattach it.
I don't think we heard that.
Now, okay, all of that, sensational, crazy story, right? And here's the part where I'm just like, Okay, I told you that her name is Marion Patterson. Mm-hmm. Do you know what her middle name is?
She's got a third name?
Her middle name is Antoinette. So her name is Marion Antoinette.
That's a lie. Is this the Onion? What is this?
That's is on. I have seen it on CNN and Fox.
No,
Not that you can trust them, but it is like
a fake news alert.
It's all over.
You had me until the Marion Antoinette.
I know.
Maybe. If not, it's in her blood.
I know.
Did she eat cake or whatever? Associate with her?
roll. I'm going to have your family in. I'm going to cut your head off, roll it down the hallway,
Use
and
the
then
same
we'll
knife.
all eat cake.
I'm going to cut the cake.
That to be clear, the cake part is not in the story.
I'm hearing warning signs.
That's how I feel.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's how I feel.
Sometimes people are like crying out for help, and you just like, oh, they're fine. Look, they have a smile on their face. She is showing some signs of stress.
And I feel like this is showing some signs of fake news.
Probably.
So,
if not, that's something.
Way too coincidental. It's just like when her parents named her that, they were setting her up for a lifetime of decapitation threats.
I wonder if the police were like, I'm sorry, what was your name?
Excuse me, what?
Oh, you don't? I'm putting this down then.
I'm writing it down, but I really feel like I'm being punked right now.
The Riot.
Apparently, some of the less athletic types go nuts for this stuff.
RadioU.
What does a guy got to do to get some ice cream around here?
It is the Riot, and is that yell worthy? Do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been here for hours. Nobody's brought me any ice cream.
We don't normally have ice cream during the morning hours.
Which is why all of this frustration and anger has built up over time, and it's finally exploded.
So why do you want ice cream?
Well, this stupid squirrel gets ice cream twice a day, and what does he do?
Is that where we're at, and we're not getting ice cream?
The squirrels get free ice cream.
What was that story from forever ago? The fat squirrels or the...
Well, there's that.
Remember the one about, because it wasn't getting cold enough during the summer, the squirrels would normally, get all their food and then hide and then kind of sleep some of it off and then eat slowly during the winter. But because it's so hot all the time in the winter, they just keep eating and not really doing the whole thing. And so they gain weight.
Well, it's like they were gaining all their winter weight, but they never had winter.
Yes,
so
and
they just kept on eating.
Well, they never lost weight as well.
So I want you to take a look. You're going to be like, it's so cute. Oh, my gosh. There's a squirrel in North Carolina that comes out of its tree twice a day.
Oh, it's so cute. Mm-hmm. Oh, for the little mini cones?
And he comes down. He lives in a tree above Fantasy Isle Ice Cream and Mini Golf in Holden Beach. He comes down twice a day. They have made tiny ice cream cones for him.
It's a she. You call her name, and she'll come out of her nest in the trees, come all the way over, and eats the ice cream.
According to the family, they said the first thing that people ask when they come to the mini golf is Putter here? Have you seen Putter today? Because that's her name, because mini golf, because Putter.
I don't think that's healthy, though. I mean, ice cream is not supposed to be an everyday food.
Well,
not even for a squirrel.
My thing is...
Not even twice a day.
Why
is she getting it?
I come out of my tree once a day, 5 days a week.
Sure.
I'm right here, okay?
You want me to make you like your own mini cones each day, or do you want a big boy cone?
Well, the thing is, Nikki, I feel like this mini cone is proportional to Putter. So I feel like one that is proportional to me.
I want a waffle cone.
Oh, absolutely.
Freshly made, freshly waffled.
I want you guys, I want the waffle cone to still feel a little warm when I get my hands on it. And then...
then fill it up with ice cream.
And I'll tell you what, it's okay that I don't get the same kind of ice cream every day, but what I want to do is fill out a form that contains all the kinds that I like, and then you can just surprise me every day. And people will come in and be like, and is Obi here? Is Obi here? Is he here yet? And they'll be like, we love watching him eat that ice cream.
We love it. It's so cute.
We love watching him eat it.
Well, 2 special mini cones of ice cream per day for this squirrel.
Mm-hmm. 2 a day. This guy.
That's a 2 a day. That's a 2 a day.
He's doing
it's
2
his
a
training.
days.
It's her. It's her training.
She's doing 2 a days.
That's so cute.
Intense. But see how that's the part that frustrates me is like, hey guys, here's the squirrel. She's doing nothing with her life. Let's celebrate her. Give her some ice cream.
You don't have a fuzzy tail.
So then I come in here and they're just like, shut up, bring your own food.
Where's your money?
What, it's our job to feed you? Are you serious? But a squirrel shows up and we're like, oh, have some ice cream every day. How about twice?
Remember when we said things couldn't get any worse? We were wrong. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
You remember, what's her name? What was her name? Rose from Titanic. She wouldn't freaking move over so Jack could get on the thing too.
The door?
The door? She's like, no, it's all mine. Drowned in the depths.
But I feel like during, It seems like in the past 5 years or something, everybody would bring up that he could have fit on the door.
Yeah.
But did anybody bring that up when the movie came out?
I don't know. Oh, maybe somebody. I don't know. I do know this,
I feel
though.
like probably BuzzFeed or someone noticed it, and then that's when everybody started. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Kate Winslet. She was the actress that brought Rose to life. She has received an amazing honor, Nikki. In her hometown of Reading, there in the UK, they've just named a trash truck after her.
Ah, boy, the honor.
Right?
That's what you're working towards in your career. One day.
One day to have a trash truck named
One day
after
we'll
you.
get that.
Now, there are other trash trucks that have received names. Jar Jar Clinks is a favorite one, but this one is called Kate Benslet.
Kate Benslet?
So Kate Winslet becomes Kate Benslet.
Oh, like garbage bin.
Garbage bin.
Okay.
It's more
I was
of a
like,
UK
what is
thing.
that?
Yeah. So that's the great honor. But it got me to thinking about what if you and I
Receive such a prestigious award.
were given that.
What would our
And
trash
what
can
would
names?
our trash truck name be?
I feel like we need to find other words for trash can.
Well, I got a couple of suggestions for you.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I came up for me is not a good one. Oh, but detritus?
Too much.
Detritus is just, but I have a lot of syllables.
It actually reminds me more of TARDIS, less the trash can.
Yeah, okay. Not bad. So how about this? Oh, but dumpy.
It's actually quite nice.
That's not bad.
If you want to be dumpy, that's fine.
Well, and I had a hard time coming up with one for you, but I finally landed on one.
I'm afraid to hear this one.
Nikki's Ickies.
Oh, that's cute.
That's not so bad.
I think it kind of works.
So, like, you put all your icky stuff.
Yeah, or you could just say Nikki Icky.
Icky Nikki.
Yeah.
But, like, what? So you would say Nikki Icky?
I would say that.
Okay. I like Nikki's Ickies because it's just like, ew.
This is where all the icky stuff goes.
This is where Nikki found all of her icky stuff and she threw it in there. Ew.
Or Nikki Sickies. You could do Sickies.
That's not bad, too. But that was, like, I spent time on that.
Did you? Did you really? I'm not sure I see that. You really did?
Well, think about words that involve trash.
Yeah.
And then words that involve, our names. And
It's hard.
There's not a whole lot there.
Sure, you could do Obi can, like a trash can.
Yeah, okay. All right. Like,
See, just our names don't work.
wait. Obi-Wan can Obi. Boom. Yep. That's good.
Sometimes it just takes a little workshop with it.
Well, you do a lot better when you have somebody to bounce your ideas off of.
Very good.
But yeah, but I need another Nicole Trash Hole.
Oh, I don't like that one. Okay, first off, that's too personal. I don't like that. Go back to Nikki. Don't bring my name into it.
Well, Nikki, I'm trying to come up with something.
Yeah, but you have to go with Nikki. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Then that's the end of it.
Because I don't have to have my own trash bin.
You can take that honor and put it in the trash truck.
Because you've got one.
Go ahead and put it in Kate Benslet.
We'll keep working on it. If you have any ideas, that's your homework for today.
Mm-hmm.
Come up with trash can names for us. You can always text us 877-RADIO-U, or if you just post it on our RadioU Riot Facebook page too.
Okay. Well, I don't know who this is, but we got a text that said, for those of us who actually watched Titanic, he did try to get on the door and it tips over. That's why she's the only one on the door.
Someone's
I
a
reject
little
that.
emotional about that.
I reject it. I reject it.
They could have worked a little harder on it.
Kate Benslet was like, throw him in the trash. That's the end of him. No more Leo.
Don't want to talk to the Riot? We completely understand. Text instead. 877-2-RADIO-U.
We're going to Chicago.
Yes, we are.
That's it. It's happening. We're going to Chicago.
Is ironic because we could have last week.
Oh, my gosh. McDonald's has a new headquarters restaurant.
Basically, yeah.
It's in Chicago, and here's the idea. If you go, you can get McDonald's food from around the world.
Now, they have a small selection of international things. I'm not sure if they'll trade them out. But at this point, you can get a 3-pound bacon cheeseburger, which is traditionally in Canada.
Uh-huh.
You can get bacon and cheese fries, normally from Australia. And you can try a strawberry chocolate coconut McFlurry from Brazil.
It's not enough. I want more.
So that's what they're offering international-wise at their headquarters in Chicago.
It's not enough. Now, about the Food Beast blog. They put together their wish list of foods they want from around,
to be
the world.
showing up there.
And I'm not overly impressed with theirs either, except for they bring up the Giga Mac, which is, imagine a Big Mac, but it has 4 beef patties instead of 2.
Yeah.
So where there's just 1 patty, there's now 2.
But, I mean, maybe if you do the math, is that like what the Grand Mac was?
Yeah, maybe. That may be. It is one of those things where sometimes they show you what they sell in the Japanese market. Like, now, granted, this is reaching back a few years, but they had the Windows 7 Whopper, which was 7 Whoppers on top of each other. And I look at that, I'm like, people, that is an American thing.
Why don't we have it?
Like, you could get so many Americans to go and start expecting to always get a 7 Whopper. That's just the new thing. So I don't know. I feel left out sometimes by some of these amazing foreign creations.
They brought up the Nutella stuffed muffins, which you can traditionally find in Italy.
Oh, I'll take that.
Poutine from Canada, from McDonald's there. That might be an option that they wish.
That would be great. They already have, Nikki, the biscuits and gravy.
Why can't they do it?
So put the fries. They already have cheese. Done.
You got the Katsu cheeseburger. Someone wanted the Cadbury cream egg McFlurry. That's normally in Australia and the UK.
I want that. So, all right. Then they also have, what's this? The Maharaja McVeg. It's a vegetarian
Big Mac.
There's a fried chicken version, but this is it's a vegetarian, like a veggie burger.
Yeah,
that
it's supposed to be good.
Okay, sure.
Jalapenos, cheese, and a sauce with it.
Yeah. Like, not veggie options, but I tried what did I have yesterday? A gluten-free Donato's pizza crust? That's
Is that the
right.
one where it's just cheese or?
No, it's not.
Like they do like the no-carb one.
No. It's like a...
It's a thin one, isn't it?
It is a thin one,
thin.
but it was surprisingly good. I mean, I wouldn't want it for my whole pizza.
Sure.
But those of you that are gluten-free, it's very good. I am sure you want it for your whole pizza.
Nice that you want options, but we want like a Chicago style.
So,
real deep dish.
Which we could get when we go to McDonald's World Headquarters when we go to Chicago.
They don't have them there.
They don't have Chicago deep dish pizzas in Chicago?
No, at the McDonald's.
Well, no, but we lunch at McDonald's, we dinner at Giordano's or something.
We'll see if this is going to be our trip.
Come on. I'm starting to get excited. Honestly, I'm starting to get a little nervous about it.
Mostly that's hunger.
The Riot.
All right, pace yourself because you're going to have to do this all day for very little money.
Radio U.
Did you guys get bit by the toxic caterpillar?
The what?
Did you
fuzzy caterpillar is toxic?
No, I didn't say fuzzy. I mean, it is fuzzy, but it's toxic. They've had, it's crazy. They've had to put out a little bit of a warning. The Forestry Commission in London wants you to know that there are toxic caterpillars, the oak processionary moth, which are in their larval stage and have been spotted in southeast England and in London. And they say that if you see them, don't touch them.
Because it could do something?
It can cause asthma attacks, vomiting, and skin rashes.
It's a Monday. I mean, who doesn't have some of that stuff?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm itching.
Have you seen the skin rash?
Like, I just...
Have you? Or no, I guess that is worrisome. But they're so fuzzy. It's like it's calling you just to touch it because of how fuzzy it is.
One gardener, let me read. This is a direct quote from the BBC. One gardener was clearing an overgrown allotment unaware that an oak tree above her was infested with OPM. She began having severe symptoms. There was a rash on her tummy. And then she's like, oh, it's heat rash. And then all of a sudden she became violently sick.
Yeah, you can get sore throats, eye problems, and then, how do you say, the anaphylactic shock?
Anaphylactic shock,
yeah. You get that.
Man, for real?
They're tiny. They're weird.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like touching bugs anyway.
It's probably better not to be outside.
Like, that's what I was thinking. Our goal should be to completely remove ourselves from the environment. Maybe we could go live on Mars.
No, not going to.
What do you think?
There's its own version up there.
There's
its own version up there of some sort of thing.
But you'd never be outside without a spacesuit on.
No, they'd be like, oh my gosh, the little caterpillar, the happy caterpillar was on my clothes, and I didn't realize. You got in, you went to Mars, and you let it out there.
And whoops. And now we don't have any cream for this rash. If you were on Earth, it would be easily treatable, but on Mars, you're completely out of luck.
Now you got nothing.
Whee!
So don't approach them. Don't touch the caterpillars. Just leave them be. Or you're supposed to call a pest control expert to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. So if you happen to see, do you have an oak tree? I don't have an oak tree. Do you?
I wouldn't even know.
That was another thing I was going to say.
We
It's
are
like,
not
in reality,
tree people.
Nikki and I might be surrounded by oak trees.
I have no idea.
I don't know anything about it.
It looks majestic of a tree, though. It looks wonderful.
It's a majestic tree.
So they're calling it an epidemic for the outbreak of having so many of these dangerous caterpillars.
Yes, indeed.
Which, who else is telling you these stories, guys?
Yeah. So, hey, don't touch the caterpillars today, okay? Especially if you're vacationing in London and listening on the app.
You just be very careful.
It's just made me concerned about everything.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
If there was a word that I would use to describe you, it's unpure.